What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you one of the most unstoppable decks in all of Clash Royale. This deck is absolutely amazing because you're going to be able to sit back, relax, and watch Suits or whatever your favorite TV show is and just get free wins. But you are going to need to know a couple things about Golem that I'm going to teach you in this video. So we're starting off against... I really thought this guy's name was something else, okay? It's Poisonheart Jen, important there. Okay, so it looks like he's playing Royal Giant off the bat. Very popular deck. I actually covered it just a few days ago in a video. It's also extremely powerful, but you do unfortunately need to use some brain power when you're playing Royal Giant. You don't need to when you're playing Golem. So we honestly just go Golems like very early at the beginning of games. I usually don't start off like the first play with Golem, but it's okay to, I guess, if you feel like being reckless, you can go with Golem as long as you have Barbs and Fisherman in the hand. That's what makes this deck really powerful right now, is that you're going to be able to go for a lot of super aggressive Golems because you have 2 win con counters in this deck. Not only do we have the Barbs, we also have the Fisherman, which is such a good card to put with Golem. I don't know how I've never thought of putting Fisherman in Golem before, but it's really, really good. Unfortunately... Well, actually not unfortunately. He does activate the King Tower. That kind of stinks, but with a Fisherman player and you're playing Golem, it's going to happen. Yeah, so Fisherman's just great in the meta. He's in Giant, he's in Golem now, he's in Royal Giant, so it makes sense that people are using a lot of Fisherman, but that's not a problem for us. What's nice is that he wasted his Monk, so we don't actually go down an Elixir from that. Basically, what my game plan is against stuff like Royal Giant, we have to be able to break through the Fisherman, and when we have a Fisherman, you know, you can't really tank for it. I mean, you can try like putting a Fisherman to predict his Fisherman, but no good player is ever going to allow you to do that. No like halfway decent player is ever going to allow you to do that either. So what we need to do is pretty much get our support troops to the tower. And the way we do that is not by sacrificing our Phoenix to his Phoenix, believe it or not. Okay, so what we're going to do here is not first Fireball. I was going to get a second Golem down. That's usually a good strategy, is to try and get 2 Golems down. But what you can do as well is just make sure you protect your support troops a lot. The biggest thing, I think, is to get the Phoenix to the tower, and it's way easier said than done. Barbs are just shredding this. Oh my god. Barbs are such a good addition, bro. They are like the best single targeting ground unit, I guess you could say, in the entire game. Because there's not really another Evo that fits in this deck, since we're running Fireball arrows for bait and Phoenix and Wizard and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're going to be able to get the Phoenix to the tower as long as I can make sure that his Phoenix is targeting the Golem, not my Phoenix. That's going to be our goal here. And obviously the Monk's going to be a little bit annoying as well. I'm not going to... Actually, I will, because there's no way you pop that ability here. There's no way. He's not Einstein. He's not going to predict that, guys. So there's 2 options, really. We either get support troops to the tower, or we build up a massive counter push. Well, I guess that's the same thing. We can build up a massive counter push to get our troops to the tower, or what we can do is he's probably not... Oh, see, that's why we need Fisherman. I'll explain in a second what I was talking about. Fisherman plus Barbs is such a nasty combo because you can't get predicted like that. And so we need to punish him for overcommitting, start up a counter push, which we're doing here. And if that doesn't work, we can try and get 2 Golems down. So if he manages to get this off, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to apply dual lane pressure because it's going to be really hard for him to stop these Barbs. And yeah, just like that, we're going to sneak a Bomber in here since the Golemite is tanking for the right tower. We'll see if we can actually do anything here. Might be able to get the big red bird back in here too. How is the Bomber not being targeted? I'm not complaining. I am not complaining at all. That is a pretty, I mean, we could just keep up the pressure here, spell cycle a little bit, and go with an Evo Bomber here, and that should be able to seal the game. Okay, well, he goes with a good time Monk. But that's what we can do with Golem. We can apply dual lane pressure as well with the Barb. So that was a pretty hectic match, but GG. Facing off against Alex, I may have a slight idea about what he's playing. If you can guess, then good on you guys. We're going to go Bomber here for literally no reason other than to just cycle to an Evo Bomber, and because that's a very good way to start off games when your opponent isn't playing anything. But it's also fine to sit there and do nothing because double elixir is much better for Golem than single elixir. But I would assume and I don't want to make an ass of you and me, but I would assume that he's playing Graveyard Freeze. It's just an assumption. We're going Night Witch here, and I'm probably not going to spend too much more on this push because I don't want to get overcommit. I don't want to overcommit and get counter pushed, but I will have to take this Fireball because that's just good value, and it also hinders his counter push. So he has to respond with a freeze, which is good for me. I'm not sure we would have killed this with arrows. I think we could. Yeah, but I don't know. I just didn't pull the trigger fast enough, so I didn't pull the trigger at all. So yeah, I just decided not to go in with arrows there. Maybe it would have been a good play, but I'm sure he would have had some other way to counter that. So I didn't want to overcommit. I was just being safe. You can be aggressive if you want, but you always need to make sure that you have barbs or fishermen and or enough elixir to play them, or else you guys are going to get counter pushed in single. That's probably the single most important thing about Golem. You can be aggressive, just not too aggressive, okay? Because some of y'all are going to be like goleming the bridge. Or, okay, maybe that's a bit extreme. You guys aren't that stupid. I love my viewers. You guys are pretty cool. But a lot of you guys are probably going to be a little bit too aggressive with your pushes. The most important thing about Golem is knowing when to let a push die and sort of watching your opponent's elixir. You don't need to count it all the way, but you need to know what counters they have in cycle. And as you can see there, since I know he's not back to his freeze, we were able to just get a nice little interaction there, and we should be able to get some dueling action going in, which is always fun. We're going to arrows real quick on these, and I would love to see him counter these barbs. He's got to cycle back to another bowler. He's just getting enough elixir for it, and yeah, he gets it down very late. So look at that. I mean, we just took him down to 1,500 with opposite lane barbs, and that's 2 games in a row where we did that. And we get a double dink. And we're obviously going to expect a graveyard here. He doesn't go in with it because it's very hard to push into this, because this deck is actually really, really strong defensively. And that's never been one of Golem's strong suits, but that's why this Golem deck is succeeding on top ladder right now as far as Golem decks go, because it is very good on defense. Look, we're playing against a Graveyard Freeze player. Graveyard, I'm pretty sure, is notoriously good against Golem, and we've taken like all of 200 damage. So this makes this deck obviously pretty powerful here. We'll go Fisherman to pull the bowler off so I can keep my Night Witch alive for a little longer. We honestly don't need to just worry at all about overcommitting here. That's my biggest thing. I just don't want to overcommit. I don't want to let him get a counter push. When you're playing against other beatdown decks and graveyard players and RG players, all the types of players that aren't cycle players, how you lose the game is by giving them a counter push. And so all we're doing is just applying pressure and making sure I use my Fireball / Phoenix or whatever to make sure that we're killing all of his troops. And so this is good, obviously, because the Golemite should push the Eye Drag into the tower so we can get some Fireball value. And here we should be able to start spell cycling and get a nice win with just one more Fireball. He might go in with his first graveyard of the game, which is very successful on my part. He's going to try last second probably Graveyard Freeze, and he misses the barbs. And yeah, this is just a wonderful game for us. He gives up, but it's a bit too late, man. I crushed you. You didn't give up. I earned that win, baby. GG. We got Kid here, is a very good bait player. I'm not sure if he's a bit washed or if he just hasn't played in a while, because I haven't seen him up top ladder. Maybe he changed his account name or something, or maybe he's just returning to the game. All I know is he has a reputation for being very good at log bait, and log bait is tough for Golem, especially if he has Inferno Tower, because we do not have good counters for the Inferno Tower. In fact, we don't have any counters for the Inferno Tower, which is excellent. I'm going to go Golem here, and that was definitely a mistake. We can hope the Dagger Duchess still has enough daggers, but unfortunately she does not. So we're going to take a lot of damage. That was probably a pretty crappy start, and that's exactly what I mean by being too aggressive. That was way too aggressive with that Golem. He timed it very well. Here, hopefully we're able to deal a little damage to this Eye Tower. Doesn't look like it, though. It does look like Eye Tower is going to be the bane of our existence. He's not defending this without a rock, chat. Rock, by the way, yeah, rock is short for rocket if you guys are new here. I'm just using slang. But he's also got the Princess Tower, so that creates a little bit of a dilemma, because our deck is very good against Dagger Duchess, and Princess Tower is just a bit better. So it's a little annoying, but it's all good. We're going to have to figure out a way to get the Inferno Tower off of our Golem, and that's going to be the biggest challenge. Obviously, Rocket is the second biggest challenge. Log Rate's a pretty tough matchup either way. So I'm going to go Golem here. He could Princess the bridge, and I would kind of have to let it go. But I doubt he does that, because if he does that, he doesn't have a great counter to the Night Witch. He's kind of forcing himself to go rocket, and we don't care about the princess. I have arrows for the princess. I care about... Okay, what we're going to do here first is arrows this so it doesn't get a shot on my barbs. And then we're going to barbs. Okay, well, got the shot anyways, but we needed to do that. And, oh, wow. I didn't actually know he was back to a rocket that early. Okay, well, that goes, that experiment there. Well-timed log as well. I mean, he's a very, very good... I know I'm gassing him up. I'm not meat riding, Chad. I'm not glazing. He's a very good player, okay? He's a very good player. I wish my chair would stop squeaking. It's very annoying. You can't edit that out. AI isn't that good yet. So what are we going to do here? That's the tough part. We do keep our tower alive, which is important. That's the only reason I didn't play any defense, was because I knew we were going to be able to save that tower with just the Dagger Duchess. So we have to go barbs in front, obviously, again, to block the eye tower. I'm good with arrowing the princess because I have fireball for his next princess if he wants. He rockets. He's not going to be... Oh, he hits the phoenix, but he doesn't hit the lead barbs. So that's actually going to get us 2 double dinks. That's a quadruple dink right there. And the bomber. Oh my god, that bomber was an MVP because he's Nickelodeon most valuable player. So he's going to be able to... I predicted the princess. Oh my god, I'm actually the best player of all time. What? I'm actually insane, bro. I don't even have time to explain what that was. You can watch it back if you want to explain what I was doing. I can't, bro. I'm that guy. I'm that guy with the sauce. All right, we got K-Town coming in here. No, that's K-On. My apologies. He's got a knight in the back first play. We're going to be able to just go in with a bomber and chill. Bomber and chill, Netflix and chill. Me and you, Pookie. Oh, meow. So we're going to be able to Phoenix in the back and just kind of push into his push. I will probably not Golem in front of it. I would never do that. That is a despicable play. But also, I probably only wouldn't do that because of the opposite lane pressure you just put on us. Ideally, if we ever get the chance to throw Golem in front of support troops at the river, we're going to do it. But most of the opponents won't let us do it, especially at this range. We're not extremely high. We're only in the top 1,000. But it is still, you know, a pretty decent range. I mean, players up here don't make game-breaking mistakes. They usually play very well. So it's always good for the content, but also it's good to show you guys what like decent players are doing, which is kind of fun. So we're going to go fireball arrows, honestly, which is going to allow me to get a golem to the tower, most likely. Unless he like shows up with a drill or something. That'd be kind of lame. But we should get a death bomb or a hit and a death bomb, which is actually hell yes. Okay, I'm going to take that. So unfortunately we get oh, that was a bad Phoenix. You want a Phoenix on the Guardian because it tanks for the little Prince shots and kills the Guardian faster. So that was a bit sloppy on my part. It's all good though. We're gonna be chill here. I feel like I've been giving good tips so far, or at least like showing you gameplay wise what you want to do against several matchups. How do you have a graveyard? Why do you have? This is supposed to be the rocket cycle deck. What do you mean you have graveyard? Okay, well, speaking of showing you quality gameplay, that was horrible. But I promise you, I had no idea he had graveyard, bro. That's not fair. That's not fair. You can't just surprise trap card me with a graveyard, bro. That's nasty work, man. But I hope I've been showing you decent gameplay so far. If you guys are understanding what's going on, I hope that's good for you guys. But if you don't know what's happening, if you have any questions or you want me to clarify something, go ahead and ask in the comments. I'll be happy to answer you guys' comments after the video goes live. Well, surely not going to do it before the video goes live. I'm just rambling. So what we're going to do is go barbs in front again. I'm fine with him going poison or whatever. Yeah, so we're going to go fireball. And basically all I need to do is just keep my golem pressure alive. And he's going to go with an Evo Tesla. So this is where we start to pick up speed. Because he's forced to cycle to a second Tesla on the same golem. Which is going to allow me to slowly start chipping away at his cycle. Because these cycle players have fast cycles, guys. Wow, Omar's words of wisdom. Cycle players do have fast cycles. The problem is the little prince. We are unable to kill the little prince, especially when I'm forced to spell his Teslas. So this is why this kind of poses a problem to us. I'm going to go in with an aggressive golem once again because we're still up and in the terms of like Tesla. Like I am closer to golems than he is to Teslas. And so here, all we need to do, perfect timing on that. All we need to do is get bailed out. We're going to go arrows here. Please, God, no. Okay. This is good because now no Tesla. And that's basically how you win these matchups, guys. If you are struggling to break through, you just need to cycle like I did, and you're going to be able to break through. All right, we got Fede Ghost from Shock 13. He's going to be our next opponent. Hopefully, we're going to stomp on him like we've been stomping on everybody else today. I've been 100% focused for a little while, but then it started fading off. And I realized when I was on Discord call the other day with a bum-ass DeFito, sorry, excuse my French, we're supposed to be PG-13, that I could play this deck with a bunch of people yapping in my ear, with a bunch of people talking about nonsense, meowing, making cat noises, using soundboards, and I realized, you know what, I can play this deck, and it takes no, like, thought process at all. It's just kind of, maybe it's because I play Lava Hound, but once you get the hang of this deck, once you start getting reps in, play like 20, 30 games, you're going to start understanding how the deck works, as long as you're watching your loss replays. Barbarians come in because nobody expects us to have barbarians in a golem deck because it's kind of weird. But you can basically get a very good... You could get put in a very good spot with barbarians, which is exactly what we're going to do here. He's forcing out a wizard. I'll go back to that point about stupid morons Stefito in a second. But you can play this deck with people yapping in your ear, with your mom calling you, with the... I don't know... The Siri Mariachi basement dwelling Mexican people. Like... No, okay, that's not racist. I swear to God, that's not racist. That's not what I meant. You've ever been in a COD lobby with a Mexican, and there is always some sort of abomination going on their mic. They've got a family house party. They've got a mariachi band going on. It's not racist. It's respecting the culture. I'm just pointing out that always happens to happen, especially back in the old days when you'd have 15-year-old Mexican kids with microphones. Maybe I shouldn't say Mexican. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, well, that's a free win. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Meow.